to the ball game.
Good morning. Welcome to Take Me Out to the Ball Game, where we try to get you caught up in the world of baseball in just a flash. And let's go ahead and hit the ground running. Arizona State has placed assistant football coaches Chris Hawkins and Prentice Gill on paid leave related to an ongoing NCAA investigation in possible recruiting violations on Monday. So that investigation continues to go on. I really think this is just a last grasp for the NCAA, who's still trying to show or trying to prove that they have power. Their power is essentially nil, especially now that the players can literally NIL, use that rule to make money. So I think it's going to be really difficult for the NCAA to put any sanctions going forward. So this is their last stand, so to speak, right? All right. Other things in the world of sports. Lamar Jackson, non-committal on vaccine. He's gotten the COVID-19 virus again. He's got it twice. And he is saying that he does not want to talk about whether or not he's going to get the vaccine, which obviously sounds like he's not going to. The only people that tend to say don't want to talk about are the ones who plan on not getting it. It's very rare that someone gets it and then wants to be quiet about it. So why? Who knows? But his quote was, "We'll see. Talking to the doctors, we'll see." Remember something. If you don't get the vaccine and you play in the National Football League this year, your life is going to be a living hell compared to your other teammates. They've got all these protocols in place to basically try to force you into doing it. Now, whether you agree with that or not really the point. The point of this is, if you don't get the vaccine, you're going to be ostracized from the rest of the team, because they're going to have you in little areas where basically they're self-quarantining each other for those who don't have the vaccine. So you got to take that into some kind of, I'll put it to you this way. If it were me and I was 50-50, I think I would have to get the vaccine if I was an NFL player, because I would much rather have a much normal life. If it was something I was dead against, then I get it. And you're dead against it, then stick to your guns, stick to what you believe in. I totally understand it. It'll be interesting to see as the season goes on how many guys end up getting vaxxed, because they don't want to be the reason why their team has to forfeit a game and cost everybody game checks. And if that ends up being the case, you're going to have some animosity in some locker rooms. So stay tuned for that. All right. The next story up, Colorado Rockies. They dove into the mascot gate, whatever you want to call it. And there was an accusation that a fan was yelling out a racial slur to Lewis Brinson, a outfielder for the Miami Marlins, who is a Black American. And they said that they do not believe that there was a racial slur being thrown at him. The fan was saying that he was calling out for the mascot. The mascot's name is Dinger, Dinger. He was yelling out, trying to get his attention to get a photo shot. Now, Brinson has now come out and said this, and I quote, "So I watched the video at least 50 to 60 times the past 15 to 16 hours. I watched it a lot, especially when I heard that he said Dinger instead of the N-word," unquote. Back to his quote, "I personally, this again is my personal opinion, I personally keep hearing the N-word. It's not that I want to hear it," unquote. So it's really going to come down to he said, and the Rockies are saying that they looked into it, that they had people go into and break down the video. And I guess it was Brinson that stirred this fire up, that is claiming that he's not saying the mascot's name, that he's saying the racial slur. I guarantee you what comes of this. They're going to change the mascot's name. They're going to have to, because you can't keep having this, because then people are going to say it to try to get under his skin, to try to get, or try to get under another player's, get in their craw, so to speak. So you're going to have to change. You don't have to change what the mascot is, a purple dinosaur looking thing with polka dots. You don't have to change his look. You're probably going to have to change his name. Come up with something that's, I don't know, Colorado-y, with something to do with the Rockies. That's the easiest way to move on from this. And then that way the fan can go on living his life. Brinson can go on living his life, and the Colorado Rockies, who are one of the worst teams in baseball, they could go on and keep living their mundane life. All right. Next item up to the plate today is, we've got, I guess the other big thing would be Luka Doncic signing his big deal, and 5 years, $207 million, and Saquon Barkley was taken off the PUP list. And so now he's back practicing. Saquon Barkley he should be ready for week 1. And I don't expect him to play in the preseason game this weekend, but I do expect him to probably play in one game, maybe 1 or 2 series. Remember, there's only three games this year, three preseason games this year, unless you're the Cowboys and Steelers, who had the extra one at the Hall of Fame game. So I don't think they'll play him this week. I think they'll probably play him next week, maybe 1 series, maybe 2. And then the final game of the season, the final preseason game of the season, is 2 weeks from the opener. And I don't think many coaches are going to put their starters in. So that's what you expect for that. As far as Luka Doncic, he breaks a barrier. 5 years, $207 million, becomes the first guy to be able to get past his rookie deal to sign a max deal. And that was because he was voted to the NBA first team twice. And that is the barrier you have to break. So he broke it, and now he gets paid 5 years, $207 million. All right, we're going to have a short on this date in history today, because I'm running out of time. So this one in 1957, this one has been talked about a lot. Mickey Mantle becomes the first player to clear the center field hedge at Memorial Stadium with his 460-foot blast. It's a 6-3 victory over the Orioles. Baltimore's Boog Powell and Sluggers Harmon Killebrew also accomplished the feat in 1962 and in 1964. But this was monumental when he went over. Literally, it was monumental because it went over the hedge at Memorial Stadium. But when he did that, it was a huge deal. Now, we have heard some outlandish stories about Josh Gibson and Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle hitting 600, 700-foot shots, which never happened, by the way. Those were all guesses. If anyone thinks that someone humanly possible could hit a 700-foot home run, you're out of your damn mind, okay? I'm not saying it won't happen one day with steroids and HGH and everything. Someone's eventually, or in the way they're tightening the baseball, it wouldn't shock me if one day that it wasn't happening back then. You ever seen an old school baseball? That damn thing was lead. So it wasn't happening back then. But it was back then, you didn't have a stat tracker and whatnot. I still don't 100% believe when they show us what the trajectory would have been, because it's based on a lot of ifs, but it's still a hell of a lot more accurate than what people were claiming. I mean, they claimed a 600-foot shot by Mickey Mantle. I don't buy it. 500 plus is enormous. There was a guy in the minors hit 500-foot shot the other day, and it was an absolute rocket. It still only made it 502. To be able to hit one 600 plus, what you're going to need to do that is basically someone to lie their ass off and say they saw it go 600 feet. We'll see you tomorrow on Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Have a great day. And a lot of good baseball today. We got a full slate, so we're back at it again tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take me out to the ball